Daith da, Eubie Nakan. Welcome to podcast number 119. So this is the final podcast before Christmas, 2024. So I will put a couple of little festive bits in, and I'll have my usual roundup of me week, and then the final part of me interview with dear Ken Miller before he goes to pastures new. Now, as I mentioned on last week's podcast, we was at Myra and Martin's for the turning on of their Christmas lights, and Father Christmas arrived on an old mini steam engine. And I did say at the time that I did know that Father Christmas does actually listen to this podcast. So I had a little video there, videoing him as he arrived, so it is a bit noisy in the background, but I do say to him, get on Father Christmas, Eubie Nakan, and he does reply. So just to prove to you that Father Christmas does listen to this podcast, here it is.
Get on Father Christmas, Eubie Nakan.
Eubie Nakan today. So there we are. How about that? So now not only have you got to believe in Father Christmas, you got to believe he listens to this podcast. Proper job. Last Saturday, we was down to Blue Anchor down at Fraddon. With our mate Al Roberts and all the Duchy Cemeteries gang for their little Christmas do, and 'twas proper. It really was. Lovely evening. Food was handsome. But one interesting thing that Al told me was that the Blue Anchor was the first stop that the courier used on the way back up to London to give reports of the Battle of Trafalgar. So I have looked into it a bit, and the courier's journey apparently was 271 miles, and it took 38 hours and cost £46. But there was 21 stops between Falmouth and London to change the horses. And the route he took was the main coaching road of 1805. So it was quite interesting to actually find that out. I didn't know that. I remember when we was kids, mother and father, they'd take us through for the day, which was a trek in itself, because you'd have to go through all like the little towns and villages, St. Column, Trispan, Fraddon, whatever. But they used to stop in Blue Anchor a bit. I'm sure they did pasties. I think we had pasties there once. But yeah, so that brought back some nice memories. Before I forget, last week we was up for a funeral at St. Mabon, and after the funeral, Mabon was with me as well, actually, that day. We popped into the village hall there. Dave Masters was there, and also Paddy O'Sullivan, the treasurer and the project manager. And Dave Masters, he's a trustee. And we did give some money to the hall, a year or two ago now, for them to start their fundraising to refurbish it. And they're looking now to replace the roof and also to add solar panels there as well. And so we were happy to give another little donation as well. And the pair of them, they took us in and give us a fantastic little guided tour. And I did put a little photo in a write-up on our RJ Bray Facebook page this week. So if you want to see that, you can. And the whole, I think it was gifted to the village over 100 years ago. And it's in a fantastic condition now. The work that's gone into it is brilliant. So you can have a look at that. But if anybody wants to give a donation that's living there locally or use the hall, there are contact details. You can get hold of them via their website or get hold of me and I can forward your number on to them. As far as funerals go this week, we've mainly been in Glyn Valley, actually. On Monday, we had dear Julie's funeral from St. Toody, and she's somebody I've known for, well, quite a few years now, a couple of decades or more. And Tuesday, 'twas Ray's funeral, a nice little private service there at Glyn Valley. And Ray will be greatly missed in the Delabow area because he used to put so many old photos of Delabow in the years gone by. Put fantastic stuff on. He really did. I think his sisters are open to carry it on. But he had such knowledge, local knowledge of the area, and he'll be sadly missed. And then in the afternoon, we was up St. Q, and dear Peggy's funeral, and she was actually buried beside me Uncle Monty and Auntie Babs. So I did have a quick word with they while I was up there too. Today, as well as having Barbara's funeral, Barbara, well, she grew up with my father, really, just the next street along there in Bodmin. So we had her funeral in the morning, and then this afternoon we had Ken Sargent's funeral. Now, Ken had been a family friend for such a long time, and a lot of you might recognise his name if you don't know him exactly, but you might recognise his name because him and Rose, they did a couple of episodes for me podcast. 'Twas earlier this year. I did look back. 'Twas episodes 80 and 81. So if anyone wants to have a listen to Ken again, that's the episodes. And that was the first one, episode 80, was the one where I actually didn't get the introduction right. I forgot all about it, and I did it wrong, and I have made that mistake since. But it was a lovely service. Glyn Valley again. Well, it was bitterly cold, but there was people, the chapel was full, people in the waiting room and people standing outside in the cold. But we'll dearly miss Ken, I must admit. So we'll now go over, well, actually, before we go over to Ken's last interview, I'll just do a little bit of background because the younger generation might not know what we're on about. But during this part of the interview, me and Ken, we talk about CB radio. Now, that was something that was really popular, well, what would it be, in the 80s, I suppose, late 70s, early 80s? Due mainly, I think, to the popularity of the film Convoy, which is a brilliant film. If you haven't seen it, I mean, I haven't seen it for years. It is most probably dated now, but it was fantastic. So CB radio took off. And basically, I mean, this was before the time of mobile phones and that. You had your little set there in your car with your aerial on your roof, and you had a shared channel. Well, all the channels were shared, but you had this main channel. I think it was channel 14, was it? Somebody might be able to correct me. It was a long time ago. And everybody would listen on that channel, and then somebody would come on and perhaps ask if you was there or something. Now, everybody had kind of nicknames or handles, as they called. So you say, here, what's your handle kind of thing. So you could be talking to people you got really friendly with over the years, and you never really knew their names. But it was usually something to do with perhaps your job or whatever. And I can remember Ken, he was Dusty Bin. Now, myself, well, what happened was, I'll backtrack a little bit. Like I say, it was before we had the bleeps, before we had the mobile phones. And if Father was out in the car anywhere, I said to him, a good way to get hold of he is to get a CB radio in. So we had a blimmin' great radio put up at Bridge End, and we had little radios put in our cars. So then you would go on to the channel. So if I wanted Father, he'd be listening there on channel 14, say it was. So I would just call him up, and then he would then go to another channel. So you'd say go channel 32 or something, or channel 10. So you'd go to that channel and you'd have your conversation. But the thing is, anybody else could go to that conversation and listen to what you're saying and even come in and join the conversation if they wanted. So it wasn't private at all. So if somebody perhaps had passed away or something, we had our kind of code that I'd say to Father. I would say, a certain few words, and he would know what had happened, and then he would have to drive to find the nearest phone box to ring back to the office so I could give him details or whatever. And it worked pretty good. It really did work good, I must admit. So, of course, I used it as well for personal use as well. And my handle was Coffin Bearer. So that was what my handle was. So you would go on, so somebody would say, 1-4 Coffin Bearer, copy? So by saying that, you can say, here, are you on or no, Dev? So you'd say, 1-4 Coffin Bearer, copy? And then I would reply, then you go to the channel. I always remember John Lacey. He was King Rag, which was like tied up with fishing kind of thing. That was another one I remember. But 'twas a fantastic thing. And if you was kind of going along and you wanted just to go through the channels, you could listen to other people talking, and it was quite entertaining. It really was entertaining. Of course, initially it was illegal, and it wasn't until later on when they changed the frequencies that it did become legal. But you'll hear Ken talking about it, because to start off with, it wasn't legal at all. But I do remember we had some fun, really. Because like Mike Harvey, one of my mates, we used to go around in gangs, cars kind of thing. And ours was Spud Basher. That was his handle. And what we would do, we'd be going along, perhaps 4 or 5 of us in a convoy of cars, middle of summer, and he'd be on ahead, and perhaps there was a car in between us. So I'd radio up and I'd say, "Here, Arves, is there anything coming towards me, or is the road clear?" And if he said the road was clear, well, we would overtake on places where you wouldn't really overtake, kind of thing, because it would almost be like suicidal. But we knew it was safe because Arves would give us the all clear, whoever it was, leading the way. And the people we overtook, they must have thought, what the hang's on with they? And me Uncle Ken, he put my CB in for me in my car. I had a Mark I Escort at the time. But also he put in a loudspeaker thing under the bonnet. So we had a bit of fun with that. You'd be driving through Newquay or something, and whoever sat next to me, they'd eye down and they would say something. And of course, I'd be looking straight ahead, both hands on the wheel, when they think, well, Twin E, who was it? Must have been the car behind. And I do remember, like dear Basil Cleave, we'd be going along a Platt, and Bruce or Noah, whoever was, hiding down, or B-Day, they'd say, "Basil Cleave, put your tickets away," because Basil was the local traffic warden. And poor old Basil, he'd be looking around thinking, where on earth did that come from? So that was a brief history of CB radio, around our way anyway. I'm sure there's lots more I forgot. And if anybody, wants to say anything, I'll add it on next week. But it was a brilliant laugh. It really was good fun. Right, so after that, I think we will now go over to our final bit of our interview with Ken. And then afterwards, I'll do my usual bit. I got an alternative carol, well, just a couple verses, tin Cornish, but 'tis something we used to do in the group years ago. And I'll go through that with you. I might, if you're lucky, I might sing it to you. If not, I might just recite the verses. But 'twas something a bit different that we used to do, which I thought was quite funny, but you might not find it funny. So anyway, over to Ken now. I'll speak to you directly. Here it is. So what did he get up to then, growing up when you was like a teenager and that in Wadebridge? Was there much entertainment?
David, there's too many secrets there, boy. Too many secrets there. I think there's too many people still living. Yeah, I had a good time. Well, I don't know if you remember Ernie Sambles.
Yes.
Up Trevanzen.
Yeah.
Ernie was a victim of Polaroid when he was 16. He used to be down there with his little chair. He used to be in Brooklands Gate there in the evenings, and everybody would come over and see him, and he was sort of a dating thing, really. He would say, "Here, so-and-so want to date with you," or I would say, "You see so-and-so, she'd come out,"
Yeah.
He'd be the messenger.
All right.
And
I used to deliver papers to him up Trevanzen.
Yes.
And you'd have to open the letterbox and push the paper in as hard as you could go to get it as far down the passageway,
Also up at Trevanzen was Vernon, the postman.
Right.
I forget his last name, Vernon. He had a bit of a limp and used to walk, but he's a Weber's postman.
Mm.
And he was involved with us because we had a good team back then. We had the Trevanzen Trevanzen cricket team.
Yeah.
And it used to be behind Glanville's cottage here in the middle.
Oh, I know, yeah.
And before we'd done any playing the cricket or visited, we had to go down and pick up the cows used to be in the field. We had to pick up everything from there and cut the grass with a mower, just big important thing. And that was Oh, good times that was.
Yeah.
You know, there's several blokes there. I forget their names now, but
Yeah.
I know Len was there. Eric Saunders, Tommy Keane.
Tony King, yeah.
Remember Tommy? He
Yeah,
used to work out.
Loveday was his wife.
Yeah, Loveday, yeah.
Yeah.
She was a great dart player.
Because won the Trevanson Victory all
Yes.
up that way, is that
Yes,
right? Yeah.
halfway in.
Yeah.
Dart club.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. Back then, big deal, you know. Everybody used to go there. Used to play darts there and used to play down the old conservative club.
Yeah.
I remember I was in the billiard team or snooker team there when some of the players couldn't come. I still got a snooker cue.
Yeah.
Joe Davis.
Yeah.
Remember Joe Davis, yeah. And
Because was Tommy's father called Darky?
Darky King, yes.
Is that right?
Yeah, Darky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember
He was
that.
in the home guard.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was good days. Good days. When Bryant's had a petrol station,
All right.
you know.
Yeah.
And Lawson Coon used to be up there, man. You remember Lawson
I do.
Coon?
With his little dog.
Oh, yeah, Skippy, he was called. And Lawson used to go into Saunders' shoe shop in town and get a new pair of canvas shoes. But he had a big corn on his foot. And they had to cut a hole where the corn was, you know. And I remember him going up the road with his mac on, dragging this poor little dog. And come on, Skippy, you know.
Yeah.
No wonder he's a little small dog. He must have wore his feet out, you know. And Lawson used to go into the Conservative Club, and to this day there's a picture in there of the Queen.
Right.
He presented that one. One day the doctor said, Lawson, it wouldn't hurt for you to have a bottle of Guinness every day for your health. See, Lawson sort of thought that different really, because he used to have a bottle of Guinness in the club in Molesworth and Swan and all that there, you know. But it was only a bottle of Guinness in one place, you know. And I remember Lawson had the house, the brick house, just below where the court is up there. What's it called?
Oh, yeah. Chesterton Court.
Chesterton's Court.
That's
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course we used to play jokes on him and that. And he had an outside toilet. And we had a picture of, real naughty. There's a picture of the Spick and Span magazine. You know, a girl with bikini on, you know, it was quite sexy back then, you know.
Yeah.
We pinned it inside and we went out, Lawson saw us, and we ran up to Bryant's petrol station, and Lawson was chopping up wood and he chucked his axe at us.
Ooh.
And he stuck in the wood light pole there, exactly like it was meant to, you know.
Yeah.
God, that was the last time we ever taken Mickey out of Lawson. Yeah. Yeah. So that was that. We used to spend a lot of time at Bryant's, Raymond Bryant, petrol station. He had a little summer house there. We used to sit in there and drink Corona, lemonade. Remember, those busy bottles. The Corona lorry used to come around and collect them, and we used to pick up all the empty ones. Used to be worth 6p. That's old money.
Yeah.
I think that's 2.5p now. And that we used to pass them back in again, and they get allowed that for another bottle. So if we had about 6 bottles, we nearly had enough for another bottle of Corona, you know what I mean. I used to do a bit of work for Raymond Bryant. He had fields around. He had fields over where Bridgeview is now. He had all those fields.
Yeah.
Well, below you and above you, I mean. And he used to go over there, and he had cattle over there. And then he gradually got rid of that. Lawson used to have a lot of property up at Dunveth and around.
All right.
And I remember Lawson saying to us one day, he said, I pulled the tax man and his man. I said, what did you do? He said, oh, I gave all my land away so they wouldn't put me in tax. He wouldn't tax me. She had quite a bit of property.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah, quite a bit of property. Yeah, up there somewhere. I think it might have been Dunveth. I don't know. Someone. But he gave the fields to Raymond Bryant. Yeah, it's another old. And what about old Dickie Wordle? Do you ever remember?
I heard
Dickie
the name.
Wordle?
Yeah, I heard the name.
Dickie Wordle. Dickie came down from a rich family in Yorkshire.
Right.
His father was manager of the Great Northern Railway. Dickie was sort of not good enough to be with the family. So the family palmed him off to my granny over at Central House when he was 16. Dickie Wordle said that he must have been there until he died about 80 odd. He lodged with my gran, then when my gran died, he lodged with my Auntie Marion, that's Annette's mother, and he lived over Trevanion Road there somewhere, just down below where the hairdressers was. There was a saying once, Hill and Bunnies,
Oh yeah.
where the fudge shop was,
Yeah.
and the men's clothes.
Yeah.
And I remember old Claude used to say, I should try on the jumper pullover. But he used to grab the back and pull it tight. He said, yes, it fits lovely, like, you know. Anyhow, Richard had to go somewhere. Oh, he went down Trewarnan House, down by the Trewarnan Bridge.
Yes. I know.
With a parcel. And somebody come along and said, do you want to lift back, Richard? No, thanks, I'm in a hurry. And that was Richard. He used to do odd jobs like that.
Yeah.
But he knew all about his steam engines and that. He was a wonder, you know.
Yeah.
Talking about Trevornan Bridge, two Weybridge blokes, Mr. S and Mr. B, we would say.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the families are still here.
Yeah.
Anyhow, they both met on top of the Trevornan Bridge. This is a saying, this is.
Yeah.
Trevornan Bridge with their cars, and not one of them would give up, like, you know. So Mr. B got out his newspaper and started reading it, right, see. And after a while, the other gentleman come up and said, when you finish with the paper, can I borrow it, please? yeah, so.
Of course, no traffic lights back then.
Oh, yeah, no traffic lights back then. And hardly any cars, you know.
No.
Yeah, that was I don't know if that was true or no, but one of the same blokes, Mr. S, he used to live out, all I can say, he used to live out the village out there, out.
What, St Minver Way?
No, by Trelawney's there.
Out Slade's Way.
Out Slades, you know, somewhere along there.
Yeah.
But that's as far as
Yeah.
Mr. S. He and another man were driving, one was driving to Weybridge, one was driving to Padstow. And back then, up at top of the Padstow turning there, they used to have a hell of a bend. It was a garden centre there, but they've remade it now.
Oh,
and,
yeah. Yeah.
They both whizzed past each other, but they whizzed past on the opposite sides. Both were drunk. And if one was sober, they used to say if one was sober, they would have killed each other, you know. I don't know if this is true or not.
No.
This is
the
old sayings, like, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Going back a little bit further, used to have the sand barge come up. Great big barge used to float up and park somewhere down there by Eddiston's MGCs. And of course, we went down there one day, being devils, we all done the rope at one side, and this bar, when it was next high tide, this barge drifted out right across the river. You know, and then when the tide went down, he was on. They couldn't offload the sand or nothing. No. Another job we done to help people. There used to be a little jetty down behind Jewson's old yard there, close to the bridge.
Oh yes.
You know, there's a furniture shop there now.
Yeah.
That was to go out to some of the boats. It was more directly up there in the river. Mr. Capes had one, Mr. Martin had one, different people. Anyhow, this jetty had a flat bottom boat there that they used to row out and then get into their boat sort of thing. Anyhow, it was high tide, and me and my cousin Joe from down at Camborne, we decided, that boat's floating out too far. So we pulled him in and tied him up with a rope. And of course, a few hours later, there was this boat hanging down over the jetty out of the water, like.
One thing I can remember you on years ago was CB radio.
Oh, yes.
You remember?
Yeah, remember, yeah.
Dusty Bin, was you?
Yeah.
That was good back then, wasn't it?
Oh, great. It's secret. You had to hide it away. We had this aerial, and you had an old washing up bottle you put over the top so they wouldn't expose the customs or wherever it was. I remember you used to go up on the downs, and if the CB was right, you could pick up people up in Scotland.
Yeah.
Aberdeen used to be very famous there. The Autobahn in Germany, picked that up.
Yeah.
Had some nice Hairy Harry.
Yeah.
He's just passed away. Tom Finnemore.
Oh, yeah.
Tom was Hairy Harry.
Yeah.
We even got a CB'er up at Tesco now. He always stacks up the trolleys away.
Oh, yeah.
I forget what his CB was. We had secret meetings down the pub when he used to flog the CBs, you know, it was great.
Yeah.
And then when it became legal...
Twins are good, isn't it?
Twins are exciting.
No.
But Delabole was called Misty Town. Weybridge was called Sewer City, I think.
Right, it was.
Sewer City.
That's right.
Yeah. Different places. Bodmin was called Jail Town.
Yeah.
We had several from Bodmin, of course. Oh, yeah, it was good. Good days.
Yeah.
I still got the old CB in the garage.
Have they? Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to, I think I'll bin it later on. I don't want it anymore. And also in my van, I used to have a scanner that would scan marine boats, like Channel 16, fishing boats and that.
Yeah.
And it used to pick up the Pat's of Life boat. And
oh, yeah.
the skipper was called England then, the father.
Trevor?
Trevor, yeah. The boy he's on the boat, isn't he?
Michael, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I remember just below Lundy Bay, this boat was coming ashore and ground, and the people, it was pretty swirl. The boat was coming up and down, you know, and the lifeboat was beside him and that. And I heard Trevor say, if you don't so-and-so and so-and-so jump off now, he said, I'm going back to Padstow.
Right.
You know, because people was afraid to jump off, you know. I remember that. And he went aground down there.
Right.
He had lots of, I think he had lots of oil, type mineral oil or something in there.
I see.
But back then, the customs said it belongs to us. Don't you pinch it, of course. You can't tell the Cornishman that, can you? You know. Done a bit of motorbike trials years ago.
Yeah.
London Land's End. We used to go down there with Michael Jenkins.
Yes, yeah.
Michael Jenkins. Who else would you know? I don't think you know anybody else. Oh, Anthony Thompson, Weybridge boy.
Yes, yeah.
Margaret's still here.
That's right.
his wife. Yeah, several Weybridge boys. Tigger Hain.
Ticker, yeah.
Tigger Haines.
Yeah.
Remember Tigger? And we all used to start at Bude somewhere and do a bit of a circuit there, so make up the time from London. We never went from London, you know.
No.
And went down Blue Hills. We used to go down there first trial. That was lovely. And Squatford Cliffs. Mm-hmm. Went to Land's End then, but we had to come back to Newquay. But I had to get back quick because the lights was failing. The daylight was failing, and I never had no headlights. So battery was packed up, you know. But there we go. Triumph Twin. Then I sold it to Tony Smith.
Yeah. Tony
was a local boy.
Yeah.
Moira's Hawkins' brother. I sold it to him for £10, but then he sold it back to me for £8 because he wanted the money to buy a pushchair because he just got married and he had a baby or something. So that was that. I don't know what else, Dave. Anything else you want?
No, I think that's pretty good, really, isn't it? We've covered a lot, haven't we?
Yeah. So I'm now going up to Guildford to live.
Yeah, up in England.
In England, yeah, leaving my country.
Yeah, up near the family anyway.
Yeah, that's right, up near the family. Yeah, they live in Guildford.
Yeah.
My son, Stephen, well, him and his wife, Vicky, funny enough, bought a house in Glen Road, so there will be a miller in the town still.
Yeah.
So one comes, one goes.
You're going up on missionary work, isn't it? That's what you're doing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's it. So.
Well, that's lovely. Well, thank you for that. That was proper.
That's right. Lovely.
So if you want to say goodbye to everybody.
Yeah, well, I'm going to miss Weybridge, going to miss my old mates and all that, and wish them luck, but I think I sent some enough cards around. They know where I live. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know where I live, so if they want to, then write to me, but if I owe them any money, don't write to me. Yeah. All the best.
Proper job. Thank you, mate. Lovely. Well, there we go. Thank you, Ken. Really enjoyed that, really did. And we wish you well. You're going up to England on missionary work to sort them out up there. And I'm sure you will sort them out there. I really do. We had a lovely little do down Molesworth Tuesday evening where we said goodbye to Ken. And it was lovely. I met up with dear old Town Nance as well. We had a lovely yarn with E too. So that was a lovely little evening. But we wish you well, Ken. And I know that Jackie will keep an eye on you up there and try and keep you in order. And hopefully you'll pop down every now and then and we can meet up again. So thank you very much, mate. Now, like I said at the beginning, we're getting near to Christmas. So I thought my Cornish word of the week, I think 'twas the one I used last year. I don't usually like to do duplicates or no, but seeing 'tis coming up for Christmas, 'tis the Cornish for Happy Christmas, which is Nadelik Loan. Nadelik Loan. And for my Cornish dialect of the week, 'tis for somebody if they're perhaps a little shorter in stature like myself, I ain't the tallest, and a bit, what shall I say, not the thinnest, shall I say, put it that way. Lovely little word, and it's stuggy. So if somebody, they say they're a bit short like me, but they're a little bit plumper, you say they're stuggy. So that's my Cornish dialect for the week. Lovely little word, that. And like I said earlier, I will inflict this on you. When we was younger, I was in loads of groups, and I'm actually thinking next week, seeing we're a bit out of routine, seeing 'tis Christmas, I might do an old school sort of podcast next week and do it myself. Just going back my memories of like playing in groups and everything, because I played the guitar practically every day of my life from 14 to 24. And we did this one song in the Chipmunks, and it was We did it in a reggae style, actually. Now, all of us in the group there, well, 3 of us, we weren't really politically motivated, didn't know much about politics at all back then. But Bruce, our singer, he was really into politics. He really was. And he was actually a paid-up member of CND, Campaign for Nuclear Disarmament. And I don't know if they're still around now or no. But anyway, Bruce was in CND, and they sent him this book of carols, Christmas carols. And, of course, they'd altered the words. So we used to do this. If we was gigging around Christmas time, we would do a reggae version of God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen. Now, I've had a twiddle now. I can just about remember the chords, and I can remember the lyrics to the first 2 verses. So I'll just sing the first 2 verses. I'm just about to get the notes. I'll tell you what, I can't sing as high as I used to, so it might be screeching a little bit, but I've remembered the chords, remembered the words. So here we go. This will do it. Most probably after this, I will see numbers plummet for the podcast, but there we go. So this is God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen in the style of CND. God rest ye merry gentlemen, sleep easy in your beds. The independent British bomb is flying overhead to go and kill the Russians when the rest of us are dead. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. In Bethlehem, in Jewry, upon the blessed morn, King Herod killed the infants, for he thought they did him scorn. Now radiation kills the babes before they're even born. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. Well, there we go. I hope that wasn't too painful, Furry, but sorry about that. Right, I'm going to leave you now. I hope you all have a good Christmas, and I'll speak to you again between Christmas and New Year. So I wish you well. Do Guinness. Nadelik Lowen. Carnobus Vicken.